everybody, it's KayBeast, and for this week's art video I have another sketchbook tour for you. This is sketchbook number 7 out of, I don't even know, 23, 24? I have a lot. But this is another sketchbook from high school. I worked on this from the beginning of 2006 till October 2006. I was 17, turning 18 that year. And yeah, I got this, it's a Canson sketchbook. I got this at a small art store in downtown Lowell, and at the time I got it, my intention was to turn this into my comic book that I started writing. I was like, I'll just draw all the pages in here and it'll already be a comic book. I'm actually going to move that up a little bit. Made sense at the time, and I did a few pages, didn't like them, and then cut them out, but the cover's still in here. This sticker right here, I'm just getting a drink of water. I got it pried one year and decided to slap it on my sketchbook. So yeah, so most of this is probably going to be my comic work because that's what I did most of the time. So let's just take a look. So this was the cover for my comic that I started. I messed up her face a lot. There's actually a lot of white gel pen on here to fix it up. And I had glitter gel pens that I used on everything, so, and this is a Sharpie, and this is pen, and I was like, hey, and this, you can see where I cut out the pages that I didn't like, so, because eventually I was like, okay, this is stupid, I'm going to do my comic a different way, and I still have yet to draw it. So yeah, so I have a random profile here. An unfinished dragon. I think this sketchbook has more unfinished drawings than my other one did because I didn't use this one that much. Another character study for a different story that I also have not worked on at all because I keep coming up with story ideas and I never actually would work on them. This was a study of Athena. I had an idea to do a series of gods and goddesses, and I found this. I think this was a statue actually that I sketched a reference of. This is my character again, just an outfit study, and then another floating eye because I did a lot of those. I never drew on the back sheet of these sketchbooks ever. Yuffie from Final Fantasy VII, Advent Children specifically, came out on DVD either this year or the year before, and I was obsessed, so I drew them a lot. Yep, see, I was starting to draw Sephiroth and then I never finished it. Started drawing a wolf, and then I scribbled it out because I decided that this was a failure, and just kept going. I was trying to do a scene study from Advent Children. I gave up halfway through because backgrounds are hard, and I have a hard time with them now. 12 years ago, I guess, I didn't even try. I was like, nope, I'm done. Random girl, I guess. Alright, so there's a story behind this next group of pictures. I have one of my sketchbooks with me on the bus. I was getting dropped off downtown for something. I had just graduated from high school. And I was going downtown to meet some friends or my ex at the time. Can't remember which. And I had my sketchbooks and I was doodling, and this lady on the bus saw me sketching and started talking to me. She had a comic book story involving this character that she had written, and she was looking for artists to work on it with her. She already had one artist work on it a little bit, and then apparently they had to leave, and I didn't understand why. She didn't really explain it. But she said she liked my art and was interested, wanted to know if I was interested in drawing her comic for her, and that she would pay me after she actually made the comic, and I would get paid in royalties after. So, first red flag, if someone is suggesting you do a job like that and isn't compensating you per page or something, don't take the job. I was 18 and had never been approached, you know, towards my work in any way that would result in money. Like, this was completely new territory, so I heard somebody was interested and was willing to give me money eventually. I was like, I'll do it. No. Thankfully there was no contract involved. This was just some random person who lived downtown So when I decided I was done, I left pretty quickly, and it was just like, I said something like, oh, I have school, because I'd started college, I didn't have time, and then I just never talked to her again. But yeah, no, definitely a red flag. If someone is going to offer you compensation for your work, make sure it's fair. If it's a comic kind of situation, they should pay you per page, and it should be like in your contract, and like there's a lot of things you got to worry about with stuff like that. So yeah, I gotta change my battery real quick, and then we'll get back to that. Okay, where was I? Alright, my camera battery was dying. Okay, so she had a story that involved a samurai raccoon and other cast of anthropomorphic characters in this like fantasy story, and drawing anthropomorphic or furry characters was not something that I was interested, I had was familiar with, and it's still not an art style that I'm particularly interested in pursuing. So this was like new territory for me. I was like, oh, I gotta draw animals and people, like this is a little not what I'm used to doing, and also she had a lot of male characters and I wasn't used to drawing guys. So the next few pages are me doing studies and trying to figure out how to draw her characters. She gave me a script, she gave me a list of what the characters looked like, and then I would actually go to her apartment. She lived in downtown Lowell, and I would go over to her house, or her apartment I mean, maybe like once a week or a couple times a week. There was a bus stop right in front of the place, and hang out with her in her apartment and go over the script and stuff. So yeah, so this was one of her main characters. And I did study him. This was another one. And another one of her characters. So she just wanted to make sure that I could draw them. So she had a unicorn character that I never really fleshed out. This was not related to the comic. This was a joke with a friend. Lowell, Massachusetts has a lot of canals. It's a mill city. And the canals were used to power the mills, and there was a lot of, there's still a lot of running jokes about weird things winding up in the canals. I mean, I can't count, there's a canal that goes right between the two buildings of Lowell High School, so all 4 years they would drain it every now and then to clean stuff out, and the stuff that you would see in the canal was very interesting and also horrific. So I think I was talking to some friends and I did a joke about like a horse or a goat or something. I wrote moo, but this doesn't look like a cow floating down the canal, because, I mean, you know, there's a lot of, people used it as a trash dump and they just threw whatever they wanted in there. It was weird. This was her main character. So, I've tried Googling the comic since then to see like if she ever found someone else to work on it, and I don't think she did. This was a scene from the comic. Someone needed to be rescued from a tower. This was another character. I mean, this story got intense. I mean, you know, this one, I think, I mean, he's supposed to be a griffin, but also a vampire and stuff, and I was like, alright, that's a lot, but whatevs. And, oh yeah, no, this is the one, yeah. So, I mean, there was a lot going on in the story, and eventually I just kind of got, like, sick of working on it. This was another character. Look up horses, because even though I was like, you know, she had a centaur, so like one character that was slightly humanoid, at least the upper half. Not that I'm like, you know, everyone's got their own stories, but this was completely outside of like my own comfort zone here, and obviously I wasn't getting paid for it, because I was gonna get paid when it was done, and eventually after a couple of months I was like, you know what, I'm done, and I just left basically. So that's what that was. This is my own character. More of my own characters. After drawing her character stuff for a while, apparently that smeared at some point. I immediately went back into mine. I was doing studies for movements, although I don't really need them anymore because this character doesn't exist anymore. I never even finished that. I think I was trying to draw a karaoke scene because they're like in every manga ever. So I had a story idea that I didn't pursue. I was trying to design a harpy, apparently. Never finished that. Never finished that. Dragon. because I always did a lot of dragons. I think I was going to start shading it with hatching, but I never finished. Some more still work on that other comic. This is obviously before I stopped. Yeah, this was also for her comic as well. Yep. And there's one of her characters again. Yeah, I was still working on it. So this was over the course of several months that I helped her with this story, and then I just left. Yuffie again, because I was still obsessed with that movie. Tifa. I don't know why I put question mark. Tifa question mark? It's obviously her, so I don't know why I did that. Random girl. I think this was going to be a griffin, but I never finished it. I always have had a really bad habit of not finishing stuff. My character again, I guess a dress study or something. My main character, I was attempting a more realistic style. Another character. Random girl, I guess. Maybe I was trying to just play around with like the clothes or something. Dragon girl thing. This is a map for a story that I was working on. This map is not accurate for the story anymore. I completely changed what that story was about and how it felt and stuff. But I did, like, I was gonna do like the whole fantasy book thing with like a map and stuff and like languages and crap. Yeah, I did that. So the next few pages are probably character studies from that story. So this is one of them. This isn't. This is just me playing around with an outfit, I guess. I have no idea. I never finished that, but I'm pretty sure this was going to be Lord of the Rings fan art. Something tells me that's probably what it was going to be. Yep, because that's Eowyn, so, yep. And a random goblin, I guess, or an orc or something? Yeah. No, and Eowyn again. That obsession never went away. Random character. I had an elf character from that fantasy story, so I guess I started drawing her, never finished that. Another random girl. Never even attempted to finish this one. This is just a floating head. These are studies from a manga. I recognize the proportions, the body style. It's the comic Princess Ai that what's his name, DJ Milky and Courtney Love worked on. I really like the fashion and stuff in it, so I bought that. I bought the series back then, and I did a lot of studies from it. So these are definitely studies from this comic. It definitely looks like the art style. And then I drew my own character after looking at that comic. Random angel girl, I guess? Yeah. This was definitely inspired by that comic. I mean, this looks almost exactly like it. I think that comic had just come out. That's why I was drawing it a lot. Random girl. I think I was experimenting with a fantasy dress style. I don't know. A face. Just a floating face. Another random girl. Yeah, there's a lot of consistency here. Sad girl with a sketchbook. I don't know what that's about. Another girl. Never finished that one. Another girl. I never finished that one. She's got no arms or her feet. Arms or feet. Arms or feet were hard. Dragon that I studied that I never finished. Are you seeing the pattern here? It's girls, dragons, and that's basically it. A cat, I guess? Yeah? I don't know. I think I had a weird cat creature character in a story and I was trying to design it. I think that's what that was. Dragon again. And again. I was getting a little better at finalizing the design, although I'm looking at it now and I'm like, no. I would probably draw dragons way different now. But this was how I did them, so I have this flying one, and I was really, really happy with my dragons at this point. I was trying to draw a baby one and just gave up. I don't know, I think there's potential there. eagle. So definitely used reference for that. I was like, did it again, another story idea. Never even attempted to finish that one. Random face. One of my characters again. Another one of my characters again. Wolf. Werewolf. Another one of my characters again. Yeah. And another character. I did, and this is just a random girl, but at the time I drew it, a lot of my friends said that her face kind of reminded everyone of a friend in the group, and I can kind of still see it. I have a friend, an old friend from high school, who's got a very like delicate face, and even now she still kind of looks a bit like that. Never finished that. Hair studies, I guess, yeah. Because at one point in my story I was going to have a big time skip, so I was trying to figure out what everyone would look like after the time skip. Doodling in ballpoint pen, which I still like to do. Should probably do another ballpoint pen challenge. It's been like, what, 2 years since the last one? These are just more ballpoint pen sketches. I guess I just got really into doodling with it. And then we're back to pencil. And my character again, I think, maybe. I have so many, I can keep track. Study that I don't know, sketch or something, I don't know. Another dragon. Griffin that I never finished. Girl that I never finished, and again, floating eye. Another goth girl. Another goth girl. I think I was going to attempt to draw Chi from Chobits, never finished that. This was clearly a pose study, but clearly when I started drawing this leg, I was like, I'm done, because no. Faces, and again, another sketchbook where I didn't finish it. Why do I always do that? And this was me figuring out, in October of 2006, my family moved, so I was like, okay, when we move into the new room, where am I going to put my stuff? That's what that was. And that is how I had my room figured out. And random stuff in the back. Oh, there's a phone number there. I'm make sure to cover that up. I don't even know if he has that phone number anymore. And friend writing in my sketchbook, and a bunch of other random stuff. So yeah. So pretty much a lot of the same stuff that I drew in high school and after high school. So yeah. But I did like the style of the hardcover sketchbook, even though I never actually used one again until my current sketchbook, and I never drew like on this side of the paper, although I do it with my current one. But using a hardcover one was definitely interesting, and it felt very different carrying it around, and I liked having the big sticker. But yeah, I think the big takeaway from this one was that paid opportunity job thing that I did with someone I just met on the bus. So yeah, don't do what I did, basically, because I did not realize the red flag when that happened. Thankfully I left and there were no contracts or anything, and I was allowed to leave, but you know, could have easily been a much worse situation, but thankfully it wasn't. So yeah. Anyway, I guess that does it for this week's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!